Hey guys, this is Mickett and I'm your host today. Today we're taking a closer look at the GoHo attack, which is a slight modification of the Hog attack. More specifically, how to 3-star attacks with the GoHo attacks at Town Hall 9 Warring. Why is this attack worth learning? Because it instantly opens up the number of bases which can be 3-starred with Hogs at Town Hall 9. Hogs can be some of the most versatile troops, and they're really excellent for when you're going after a 3-star attack. Because of this, many bases and most good bases guard against hog attacks. The primary way to defend against hog attacks is by using spring traps and by using double giant bombs, double giant bomb sets. What do I mean by double giant bombs, or DGBs? Places where 2 giant bombs are adjacent to each other, right next to each other, and they also force a pack of hogs to travel across them based on the hog pathing, and thereby they blow them up before they have a chance to heal. At Town Hall 9, the Archer Queen is a devastating hog stopper as well, since she'll really engage them while they're all busy hitting the defenses. And at Town Hall 10, the Inferno Towers make hogs much less of a viable possibility, and although it's still doable on some bases with strange designs, for this video I'm mostly assuming that the GoHo will be used primarily on Town Hall 9 bases. So what's the problem that GoHo tries to fix? Hog attacks being cut short by the Archer Queen, who can kill hogs faster than they heal, even under a heal spell, and the double giant bomb spots taking out large packs of hogs. The Archer Queen and the 4th giant bomb you get at Town Hall 9 thus makes this is a big problem when you're trying to hog Town Hall 9s. So why would you use a GoHo attack? 2 reasons. One, to take out the Archer Queen, to take the Archer Queen out of the mix. This is the primary reason in my humble opinion. But the second reason is to take out the double giant bomb spots. This is another good reason, although I list it second because this one can actually be avoided, oftentimes anyways, through hog pathing, which is the natural way that hogs path through a base from defense to defense. Whereas the first, really, taking out the Archer Queen, is generally unavoidable on most bases. Optimally, you can even get both the Archer Queen and at least one of the giant bombs in the double giant bomb spot at the same time. This has a large influence on where you will choose to come into the base. Army composition. There are 2 main ways to compose your army for a GoHo. First, a Coldblooded GoHo, which is you bring in 1 Golem, usually a max in your clan castle, and you have just enough troops to get the CC kill and a few cleanup troops, and the rest you're going to bring your hogs. The second main way is a Shattered GoHo, which is when you bring 2 Golems. You bring your CC kill squad's troops as well, the cleanup troops, and then the rest of hogs are hogs, usually trading out about 6 hogs for the second Golem. And although there are other ways, these are the primary 2 for most bases you'll run up against. With either composition, the spells are usually 4 heals if you can wall break into the Archer Queen, or oftentimes it turns out to be 3 heals and a jump spell if she's behind a few walls to be able to get into her. As a side note, generally don't use rage spells on hogs. They are fast enough without them, and they'll move so fast under the rage that they'll be out of the rage spell quickly anyways, and they'll be mostly dead without the heal. A warning about GoHo first. Timing takes practice with this attack, and unlike a Go Wipe, which when you mess up a little, you can generally pull out a 2-star when the 3-star falls short. The GoHo oftentimes, although having a perhaps better chance to 3-star, if it falls short, it will often end up being a 1-star instead. There's a higher payoff, but a higher risk. This is why it tends to be a better cleanup attack on a base already attacked for the remaining star or stars than an initial attack. Just take that into account when planning your attack. Now, one last bit of info before I jump into some example attacks. Deployment. CC troops, your clan castle troops. As with any hog attack, you have to deal with the enemy CC troops before bringing in the bulk of your hogs. One small exception is if there is a lava hound in the CC and you know that because it's already been attacked, you could opt to, if you can get them focused on your hogs, that you could have it so because it can do so little damage to hogs under heal that you can basically just ignore it. Of course, the trick is trying to get it to focus on the hogs. But otherwise, other than that one small exception, or if they're crazy enough to put a healer in their clan castle, which I have seen, by the way. But with that small exception, you have to deal with the CC troops. So usually you do this before the Golem and the Archer Queen kill squad are brought in to deal with the Archer Queen or double giant bomb spots, but sometimes it can be done skillfully at the same time, since the advent of the poison spell especially. Usually, if I can get a draw using a couple hogs or giants and I have good space to kill the CC troops, I prefer that method personally. However, use your discretion based on the base, obviously. Every base is a little different. The second thing on deployment, the Golem. As the CC troops are nearly dead, but before the outside defenses engage the CC kill squad, at that point, drop the Golem or Golems to start tanking for any of the leftover kill squad. If using one Golem, drop it and break or jump it into the Archer Queen, using wizards to make a great funnel for your heroes to take down the Archer Queen, especially the Barbarian King. If the Barbarian King is anywhere near where your Golem is, once the enemy AQ aggroes on your BK or on any of your other, on your Golem or anything, it will drop everything and go after her. That's where you want to have him, the Barb King, near where the Archer Queen is. However, if he goes in a different direction, he's not going to do it. So you have to beware the poorly done funnel. The Barb King will not go out of his way to the Archer Queen if he's busy going around the outside chasing after trash buildings. This is perhaps, by the way, the easiest and most common place where a GoHo attack can go deadly wrong. Without the Barb King, their Archer Queen is less likely to die, and then it tends to go downhill from there. Sometimes you can get lucky, and if the Barb King goes a different way, your Archer Queen will track on her and get her. Although usually if that happens, by the time that happens, your Barb King is doing little around the outside comparatively to your Archer Queen taking a lot of damage in the middle, which you just as soon she stay alive and the Barb King tank for her. Okay, another note on deployment. Hogs. Once you get the Archer Queen dead, or if she's definitely going to die, you can see it, she's already tracking and everything's going to kill her, start bringing your hogs right away. There are different deployment methods, such as a single finger drop, a multi-finger drop, an Asian wall of hogs, so-called, or surgical hogs. But whatever method you're using, start getting them in quickly. Usually it's best to deploy them adjacent to the spot where your Golem, Barb King, and Archer Queen are still working, since the defenses are already distracted on the kill squad and will target the hogs less, as well as the hogs taking out defenses, which will then be beating on the kill squad, giving your heroes a larger likelihood of surviving and doing more cleanup. The last part of deployment, cleanup. You should have somewhere around 2 or more wizards, a group of either minions or a pack of archers, whatever the case may be, for the tail end cleanup. Even though the hogs are excellent at cleanup, if they bunch up, which they often do, they can sometimes be a bit slow if they're all moving from one defense to another. Basically, if you have about 6 hogs, they will go just about as quickly as 20 hogs. That's just how it is, because the other ones are going to trail behind. Therefore, sprinkle in a few cleanup troops once all the defenses are down to help the process. If your hogs are all bunched, I suggest starting your cleanup troops on the opposite side of the map so they can all meet in the middle. So anyways, enough background information. Let's analyze a few examples here. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples. I have 3 different examples to show you. First of all, Zandu Bamboo against Fatih. Okay, let me pause this here, because the first thing you want to do, of course, as we said before, is you got to get the CC troops out of the way somehow. And what the easy way to do it here is just to get the draw over here, and then going to do the kill up here. And that way, because you see where that queen is makes a big determination of how you go into the base. If the queen was over here, that would be a lot harder to get into the queen. Remember, sending in the Golem to get that queen, might as well send in all the CC troops with it behind that Golem to be able to get the maximum efficiency out of them. But you can get the draw over here, and then bring them up here and either kill them with a poison spell or use some witches or whatever you want to do. In this case, I believe it's a little bit of both. So let's just get this going again here. All right, so doing the draw here. They're coming out here, and it was sent in, I think, 2 giants there to get the drop. There was a lot in there. I don't remember if this was a second attack, if it was a cleanup or what, but I think it might have been, based on where the giant bombs guests are. All right, brings in 1 witch in there just to kind of cause some problems there for their CC troops and to hold them up and bind them up there a little bit. Okay, the queen comes in here. The queen is very helpful, especially in this, just trying to mow through these troops a little faster. Drops the jump spell right there, and the golem diverts, goes back in there, been able to get a pretty wide funnel here. Going to wait on the Barb King. That's one thing that I would suggest that you think about doing if you have a lot of other things, but you got to not wait too long. If you wait too long and these are gone, the Barb King might go around there, and then you've got problems. Because what you want, that Barb King is going to take down under a rage, is going to take down that queen in one swipe. Doesn't even have to rage it here, actually. But anyways, the hogs comes in here with an Asian wall of hogs. Basically, a good option. Let me explain that really quickly. A good option for hogs, if you just take a look, because of where all the defenses were, there were a lot of them out here, and you could really get a swath going across here pretty evenly and be able to keep them healed. I think the giant bomb was there, and there's another one there and one there. And because you can keep all those healed pretty evenly as you go across, an Asian wall of hogs deploys them very quickly. It's basically a multi-finger drop across the entire area. Why it's called Asian wall of hogs, I think, is because it became really popular among Chinese clans, and so it just got called that because there were so many that were doing it. It allows you to put them in all simultaneously very quickly, and so all the defenses tend to go down at the same time, and then your hogs tend to go in pretty evenly into the base. The other types of drops that we talked about was single finger drop or a multi-finger drop, like a 2-finger or something like that, and there are, of course, surgical hogs. So there's different possibilities, but in this case, it made sense to go in with the Asian wall of hogs, get them in there really quickly, and no reason not to. All right, just healing as you go through. One thing to be careful of is you got to be careful even of single giant bombs if you're near a wizard tower. See how they're getting low? Drops this to cover that bomb, doesn't quite do it a little bit, drops it a little early, and you'll see that they're going to hit the tail end of this giant bomb there, and they don't get the full benefit of that heal, but it turns out to really not be that big of a deal. One thing is look at how these hogs are going. I'm just going to show you this. These hogs are going to go around. We might get a few that jump there, but they go around with this. Now watch how quickly they, I should say, move or don't move. Although when I put it in fast forward, it kind of makes it go a little faster. But see how long it takes them to get all the way around the base. If you had wizards, you would want to drop them over here to try and meet them in the middle. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. The next one is Nordy, and it's going to be versus, I guess, versus train spotting. This was in a recent war. So let's just go through and run this. All right, so let's take a look at this. What you've got is Nordy basically looking at this and saying, okay, I got to get this draw. The draw is able to be done out of here, but any hog you send in there is going to take a lot of heat. One thing you should think about, you got to use your judgment. You kind of think about, you're going to get the easy draw here, but do you send in one hog or do you just send in 3 from the beginning? If you send in one hog at a time, one hog, you'll get the draw, and they'll eventually come out there, which is what ends up happening here. But one of the things that's difficult is you end up, all those hogs end up dying pretty much right on the doorstep of that archer tower. If you were to send in 3 hogs to begin with, or maybe even 4, depending on the area, you would then get that, at least get the archer queen, or excuse me, the archer tower. And in this case, that's not that big of a deal. However, sometimes they're right next to a giant bomb, and so or a spring trap, and they can go and spring those and really get those out of the way. So, just something to think about. Let's get this running again here. So, he goes and he's going to send in multiple hogs here. What it is sometimes, I don't remember if this is a cleanup attack or not, but you see they still keep coming out, and you're like, do I have them all? Do I have them all? I don't know if I have them all. It's a lot easier if you already know what's in there, or if it comes out and it's a dragon. So, one other little trick there, by the way, you say, why did he send in that last hog? He was not sure he had them all. In fact, I don't think he did have them all. However, he went and dropped his archer up here just to start drawing them that way, because what happened is he had so many troops in here that his hog wasn't even going to get all the way in there, because they would kill that hog too quickly, and he couldn't have a clean draw on it. So he just puts one up there and then drops one more hog. It's a sacrifice, but you're able to make sure you get everything out of there, and it's so worth it. If you don't get everything out of there, it is a devastation to your entire raid. So you'd rather try and take your chances with being short. Oh, there's the last hog he drops. You'd rather take your chances with being short a hog than you know, end up with a witch or something else popping out there. Drops his poison spell up there. That's going to do wonders on this sort of clan castle, which is why a lot of people bring dragons. I believe he has. I'm sorry I didn't go all the way up there, but I believe he had a bunch of minions, and I'm pretty sure he had a Valkyrie in there, which is what's taking him so long. Okay, so what is he trying to do here? Okay, he's trying to get to the queen. All right, now he chooses to come down this direction and come down through here to get the queen. Now you're going to see it's going to not quite work, but it works. And in other words, his king doesn't make it all the way into the queen. He opts to come with 4 heals, and he's going to rely on wall breakers to get in there. What's going to happen, though, is he's going to get in the wall breakers, and the king isn't going to be able to get all the... So his king's going to have to go around. He's going to die before he takes out the queen. However, because he's got all this stuff behind here, they come behind here and take out the queen, or finish her off anyways. So, but what the key is to get your golem. He already dropped his golem there. And yeah, another thing, too. Just a good thing on keeping your CC troops alive. If you expended all this troop space and DPS, you might as well keep it alive, and that can sometimes be a big difference in the cleanup of the raid. Well, this golem is going to come in here, and so these things, which if he waited on the golem would start shooting at his things in this archer tower, well, this golem is going to come in here and take some of that fire, the mortar especially, and so all these guys are going to come in and start taking down some of these buildings. Now, whether they'll live all the way around or not is to be seen. However, a lot of times the witches especially will make it all the way around, and you find that really shortens the raid quite a bit. All right, so let's go back to the main thrust of this, not get too far off track here. All right, he's bringing this in. Nice job with the wall breakers. There's nothing that's going to take those down. Gets that in there. You know, one of the things is he's desperately trying to get that funnel right there. Get that. There you go. So the Barb King goes in there. Now he's going to send in the single finger drop hogs. Single finger is great because it puts them exactly where you want them, and it also doesn't work sometimes because they don't all go down at the same time, and so they kind of spread around. You notice that this queen is still alive right there, and this last bit of the wizards and the witches are going to take it down. All right, his queen decides to go around the outside, which is not such a bad thing at this point, because you see, here's a good example. Those hogs, you got to watch those carefully with those 2 wizard towers there, because if they were hurt just enough, even with the heal, they could die before the heal gave them a chance. All right, he's able to get those giant bombs tripped separately up here and down here, and he's basically got plenty of hogs left, and he's going to be able to do. Hogs are great at cleanup. What you're constantly praying for them to split up, though. You want them to go different directions. The problem is a lot of times they end up bunching up at the end because they're all going to the last defense. So you can see. Now, I've said earlier that if you have 6 hogs or 20 hogs, they really go about the same speed because the other ones trail behind. So that's why you need to make sure you take enough cleanup troops to be able to get that at the end, because the hogs will really can be slow if they, even though they're good at cleaning up because they can jump over the walls, they can be kind of slow on getting through all the defenses if they aren't spread out. All right, let's take a look at one more. Okay, this is one, my attacks here a while back. All right, and okay, let's pause this. Okay, idea here, this is actually a, rather than a single golem one, what they call a cold-blooded golem, this is a shattered. So I had 2 golems in here. I had one in the CC and one right there, and I'm bringing 26 hogs. And then I actually opted for this because you'll see these things are so exposed out here. They're not covered by anything, that they're just easy pickings to be able to pick up later. So I'm just going to do that. But the hogs are going to work their way through the base, and then I'll get those on the tail end. However, first what we're trying to do is we're trying to get in here. Now, one of the things I noticed is that we've got a nice crux spot here that I can drop this jump spell. And this jump spell down here, when I drop it there, these golems are going to divert and go back into the middle, and then they'll come right down here and take the queen. So you look, this queen is way over here. However, I knew that if I got access into it, and I had 2 golems going through there, one from each side, or at least a good amount of DPS, that king would reach out and be able to get all the way across there. So let's take a look at how this plays out. Okay, making a good wide. You got 1 golem there, 1 golem there. They're just allowing these troops some time to get in there. I dropped the heroes mostly because I'm just trying to hurry up the process a little bit. There's the jump spell. All right, king, golem, queen, they take out those double giant bombs. And the king is taking a little damage there, a little more than I want. I'm going to rage him. And I don't remember if he gets all the way into that queen or not. I guess he doesn't. All right, so that didn't work out as well. However, this hurt because that queen was lagging behind there to be able to decide. I decided to rage on rather than draw the CC troops. My queen is high enough that it can kind of get away with that. You got to be careful though. But now I've got the golems back up front, and the queen is coming behind, takes out the town hall, and the queen actually explodes, I believe, with a golem explosion. I couldn't quite tell there. Anyways, here come the hogs, and I decided to come in with the hogs from the side, throw a couple of loons in there just to take them down, and then the hogs are just going to do all the cleanup here, take everything out, because I've already exploded those giant bombs on the top there. I think this was a cleanup attack, so I knew where the other giant bombs were. I wasn't worried about them. Maybe they were over here, which is why I wanted to avoid them. I can't remember. A lot of hogs left. A lot of time left. 2 heals in the bag left. Now you can see I dropped the wizard over here to try and take out some of this stuff because the hogs are going to end up right on this guy right here. And so they're going to just jump at all the places around them. And they're going to go and clean this up. And one of them goes that way, which is nice and helpful. And then these guys are going to go around here. This golem is doing what he can. Queen is going to take these things out. And so it's going to turn out to be a pretty nice shattered GoHo with 2 golems. Basically the deal is if you just want to get to the queen, you're basically, if you got to get in there, you get and take some DPS first before the Barb King gets there, you got to bring in at least 1 golem. If the queen is right on the outside and will just, like if the queen was here and would just jump a wall, if your king is high enough, you can get away with throwing in a giant and a king after it, and she'll jump that wall. You don't have to bring in jump spell. As I said, if you can get away with bringing 4 heals and no jump, that is better. However, the jump spell is a more sure way to make sure you get that queen, which is crucial to the attack. So anyways, those are some examples of the different styles of GoHo. I hope that you liked this, and hopefully it was informative. Make sure that you like and subscribe, and keep on clashing.